Sapna Popri, Director ILM, Dr. Shuchi Agarwal, Dean, the Postgraduate Program, distinguished faculty members and staff of the Institute, most importantly, dear students and their family members, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here with you today at the ILM Institute for Higher Education's annual convocation for the 2009-11 batch of students of the two-year postgraduate program in management. I feel all the more honored and privileged when I find that several eminent persons have graced earlier convocations, and I feel humbled to be among such august company. Mrs. Malvika Rai, your chairperson, and Mr. Anil Rai, co-chairman, have by their able leadership, guidance and untiring efforts established IILM as a leading management institution in this country. Its progress and growth with several campuses manned by very able faculty is a testimony of how corporate sector can play a useful role in helping society access higher education, which is an imperative for India if it has to be among the top global economies in the near future. I must say I was very impressed with the various activities that your director, Ms. Popli, outlined. I see that here you have a unique combination of academic and practical real-world learning. Today is an important day as all of you students would be entering a new phase of your life. And my congratulations and best wishes to each one of you in whatever you choose to do. Whether you go for further studies, believe it or not, some people actually do this after this, take up a job, or become an entrepreneur yourself. As you enter the exciting world of business and management, there's a bright future ahead. Opportunities that are available in our country today are unprecedented, perhaps much more than ever before. Certainly, they are far more than when I was graduating. There is at the same time enormous challenge, the challenge of rapid change. You would have recently read in newspapers and articles, and maybe some of your professors insisted that you study about it as well, about the current economic slowdown in our country. You would have also seen the Reserve Bank of India stressing on the need to give precedence to inflation control over economic growth. RBI believes it may be necessary for us to trade off short-term growth for inflation control through hikes in interest rates. Also, low inflation is essential for long-term macroeconomic stability. While there is some merit to this, I do not believe this is the best solution. As a businessman, I think I have to say my piece. We need to continue to nurture growth through new investments to debottleneck the supply side constraints, particularly in agriculture, rather than just to curtail demand. If the slowdown deepens, it will take much longer to revive growth and the growth momentum itself. It is difficult to pinpoint how long the slowdown will persist, though there is a general feeling that we may have to live with this for the next year or so at least. Though this is worrisome, if I were you, I would not be disheartened by it. I firmly believe that the medium to long-term growth story of India remains solidly intact. I don't know if some of you came across a recent report, and maybe some of you saw it, by Standard Chartered Bank about the Indian economy in what it calls the super cycle of growth. It says that India is likely to emerge as one of the winners in the third global super cycle that the world is now experiencing. The first cycle ran from 1870 to 1913, which was the eve of the First World War. The second one from 1945, which was the end of the Second World War, to 1973, when it was halted by the oil crisis. India, in this third cycle, will become a $30 trillion economy, it is estimated, by 2030, and will offer huge opportunities in consumer spending, urbanization, and financial markets. There is another interesting analysis that I came across by CLSA with a provocative and interesting title called Buy Chaos, Sell Order. Buy Chaos, Sell Order. And this came out last year. I was fascinated both by the title and its reasoning. It was about the race between China and India in attracting foreign investments. The report was about equity investing, but many of the points it made are true of the economy as well. It says that India's problems come from tackling the most difficult issues first. China has postponed these issues and problems. India's economy is more market driven while China's is not. India's institutions, despite all that we read and see on TV about corruption, are still also stronger vis-a-vis China. And these, along with India's demographic advantage, that is its young population, will make India move ahead of China in the growth race in the long term, say from the middle of this decade, or at least from the second half of this decade. So, okay, whatever I have said so far is that India has the potential, but what should we do to realize this? While everybody talks about the usual things, that is, attract more capital, open our markets, deepen our reform process, invest in infrastructure and in human capital, etc., I believe there's one crucial ingredient that is missing.